Hi, welcome back, friends. Bree, Kaitlynn, and I have a very exciting guest today. Everybody, welcome Cody Peterson. He worked on set from the very beginning on Motherland Fort Salem as Eliot's assistant and the associate producer. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today and sharing.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. I've been a fan of you guys, so it's really cool.
Oh, thank you.
It's mutual. So mutual.
Big mutual.
Yeah.
Okay. First question is, how did you get started working on set?
Oh, I got started around 2012. I went to film school in Vancouver. It was like a 15-month program at this art school. And then right out of that, I just started volunteering on set. So basically, I was like homeless and like sleeping on friends' couches, trying to get like work on set. And I was like volunteering. So I like did a full movie as a volunteer PA.
Ooh,
And then I
that sounds
soon
awful.
start. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
tough. And then
brutal.
and like in film, it's all about like who you know and who you're friends with. So literally, I just had to keep volunteering on Craigslist, and until I could meet somebody that could give me a paid gig. And then it wasn't until like 2018 I ended up meeting Eliot and interviewing, getting started on Motherland.
It's
Wow.
Yeah.
So that is
amazing.
quite a journey.
Yeah, it's a lot of dedication or a lot of like hours you put in unpaid just to get to where you are.
Yeah, exactly. And then the paid work too, like, as a PA, you're standing on set for 15 hours, sometimes in the rain, sometimes you forget to bring your rain jacket, so you're standing there in a hoodie or whatever. And it's just long ass days. And yeah, the whole just in my head, I was like, I want to be a writer and produce. So that's just what kept me going.
Well, we appreciate your dedication and all the time you put in so that we got to see your work on Motherland because we really appreciated it.
Oh, thanks. It's a lot of just like making sure people could go to the right meetings.
Hey, that's
Hey,
all
if people don't
important.
get to the meetings, this stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Thank you.
So, when you were working as Elliot's assistant, like what did
Mhm.
your job duties entail in that position?
Yeah, there was a little bit like in the first season where I would like drive him to set, drive him back home, or but it was mostly just keeping track of his schedule pretty much, and tracking the scripts and stuff and making sure everything was copacetic. I would do like the assistant stuff, like, oh, here's some groceries for you, and like, which I'm very happy to do. Like, anything I can do to help him and make his life a little easier, I was very, very excited to do. So, just that sort of stuff, mainly scheduling and making sure, he has the right Zoom link, stuff like that.
That's very important.
That's
Yeah.
very important. We have learned.
Oh my, I can imagine. Oh my God.
Like not even just there's been lots of
Mhm.
Before Kaitlynn joined the podcast, we learned the terrors of the Zoom link
Yeah.
during a convention. So
Oh my God. It's so tough.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate it when you're on Zoom and it's like, who's the host? Like, who's supposed to let in everybody?
yeah, because you're like, can you unmute whatever? And you're like, who it? I don't know.
Yeah.
It is
Okay. So I was laughing when you brought being a PA because I've done that before and it was
So tough.
I went to school for entertainment and arts management, so I know
Okay.
this world a little more than my
Mhm.
two medical professionals. But anyway, you are now credited as an associate producer for the third season. How did your
Mhm.
role evolve over the entire series?
I got more involved in the writers' room and with post production, especially post. We like I was, taking notes and meetings and stuff like that. And then when I got bumped up to NAP, we ended up having a new post team pretty much, except for some editors. And so I had to make sure they understood what the show was and what it entails, and what's the best way we can really streamline everything into a really efficient manner. And then also I was like giving notes on scripts, I was giving notes on the cuts, and sometimes we would get a cut and it's like, okay, we are 3 or 4 minutes over, what are we going to lose? And I'm like, oh shit. So I hope there isn't stuff where fans would like slit my throat or something, but you know, there's just like little things like, okay, maybe we can just like lose that line. I don't think we need that, you know, stuff like that. So
Are you the reason Calder's stuff got cut?
No. Man, I shit that hard. I tried.
No.
I don't know exactly how it went down exactly. You know, I was in a lot of places and a lot of, you know, there's a lot of spinning plates. But no, I know the fans were really into Calder, and I tried to make that known. But yeah.
What can you do?
Totally
You can't
kidding.
please everyone. She was kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just thought of something. Can I just like interrupt?
Yeah.
The
It's your
vows.
podcast.
Do you know what was said?
The vows.
Because people will
man.
kill us if we don't ask.
I don't know if they were scripted or not. I'm sure there was a draft of that, but I don't know exactly. Huh, that's an interesting question. Sorry,
Our goal is to stump you because you told
Yeah.
us that you could answer anything.
well, it's funny. Takes me a few minutes to find the scripts, but I think that episode was like going long anyway, so I think that was like an efficient manner just to cut it down and like make it quicker to shoot too. But the vows, that's a really good question, and I'm sorry I don't have an
Thank you.
answer.
That was like the big. We kept on Twitter after that episode aired. It was just like everyone trying to lip read Rael and Scylla, and it's like people have asked us, and we're like, oh.
Let me see.
I
real
love how
quick.
they ask us. Like, okay,
Yeah,
yes,
I'm
we
like,
do.
What do you
We
think?
do know some
have?
things. But no, the thing
Do
is,
we
we
look
do
like
know
Cody
things
Peterson?
sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. No, I don't
That's
see
a
any.
valid answer.
I'll just say I don't see any. I just quickly skimmed through a script and it looked like the way it kind of was.
Well, we appreciate.
And thanks for
We
checking.
appreciate you
Just
checking.
tried.
Oh,
Yeah.
no worries. That's also half of my job. It's like we'll be in a meeting like this and I'm like, what did we do there? And then I would immediately jump into like script mode, Command F. Okay, that's what it was.
Command
So-
F saves your life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Command Z. Thank you. Thank you,
Usually,
God.
I'm behind the scenes of This is actually the first interview I'm fully in, I believe, and so I'm usually just Googling whatever they say in the interview to fact check them and make sure that they're.
Yeah, that's how it goes. All right, so we have a question that we have pondered since the beginning.
Mhm.
Theora and I have just tried to figure this out. And then when Kaitlynn came in, she added her brain power, and yet here we are asking you. How much time elapsed throughout the course of the series from the first episode to the last? Like, how
You
much
want my
time?
opinion?
Yes.
I think it's a year because the pilot is like February and then we end we're like midway through season 3. It's like Christmas, Yule,
Mhm.
and New Year's. So I think it's about 11 or 12 months, honestly.
Boom.
There you
But
go.
what-
Theora?
Yes.
When did they go back home to, like, the session, like, to Rael's home for some break? What break was that?
That was like fall break because it was around time of like Halloween.
Yeah, it was Samhain, right?
Yeah, Samhain.
'Cause
Yeah, it was in
Samhain
season
was
2.
right before that. So
Then
Got it.
Christmas. Yeah.
like November break.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Veterans Day break.
Actually, that's probably really what it was, like Veterans Day break. Yeah, exactly.
That's a good question.
Which is October.
Mm-hmm.
So no one thinks it's weird that these two couples got married and just met?
I think it's weird. I pointed out that on the podcast. I got shamed.
Especially if you think it's only a year.
The stakes
Like that-
were high. People get really close really fast.
Yeah.
and-
It's like wartime. It's like, you know, when like somebody's getting shipped out of World War II and they
Yeah.
meet a gal like the night before. And they're like, let's get married in my uniform right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
But hey, let's be real, and still have like been torn apart so many times. They're like, all right, we're just doing it now.
Yeah, their bond is already so strong.
Exactly.
Okay, listen, that makes sense. But Adil and Abigail met like
now
a
I'm with
month
you
ago.
there. I'm with you there. They're already talking about babies before they even talked about marriage.
You know, it was really
They
intimate.
leapfrogged.
Yeah, things got close and intimate, you know, in the Dodger
Yeah.
factory or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All that paper, you know, that really just promotes the closeness.
Yeah, they basically had two relationships with Dwight and Shelby, you know.
Dwight, exactly. So
Okay.
really, they've been having two relationships the whole time, Theora.
Yeah.
I think
Duh.
Dwight and Shelby are closer than Adil and Abigail.
Yeah, I mean,
They really leapfrogged their entire relationship.
they did.
Wouldn't I just kill in Motherland trivia? Oh my goodness. I'm waiting
Oh
for
my gosh.
any bar in my city to open
Listen, you
We
would
should
be the
host
secret
trivia.
weapon.
We should host trivia.
that up.
We should host trivia and then have you come on and like no one know who you are, and then you just get every question.
Well, we
Yeah.
have to do that before this interview goes out then. I feel like people know Cody already.
They do, but
You can help us write the
disguises.
questions.
This is what
I would love
disguises
that,
are
yeah.
for.
Like, what was this revision? Cody, nobody knows the revision.
Wait, sorry, what was the question?
I was like, what happened when we revised this script on this day? Like,
Oh, yeah.
That's not
That was
What's
a
the
something.
trivia
reason for
question?
that line? Yeah, exactly. Or I'll be like, oh, who directed episode 204? Anybody know? You know? Stuff
Do
like
you
that.
guys know? They do, because they say it at the beginning of every episode.
I don't
Like,
remember
okay,
204.
listen, I've slept a lot and yelled at a lot of people since then.
I don't think it was Amanda tapping for episode 204. But I
It's
don't know
actually
for sure.
funny. I was like away for a bunch of season 2 because I, like Taylor, this past season, I had a concussion. So like kind of the same thing.
No.
It was episode 2, season 2. I had a concussion, and then I came back. I think we're just about to shoot episode 6.
Wow.
So
What is
a
it with
bunch
this
of-
show and concussions? Because
Yes.
Ashley.
yeah, Ashley. I luckily I didn't get COVID like a few other people, but I know it was
That's
just
good.
kind of odd. Yeah.
We're glad you're doing better now.
Oh, thank you.
Does
And
all of this happen on set? But like,
Yeah, it actually. What happened for me is I'm like really tall, and you know those like tents you see like where they'll put like the monitors and stuff.
Yeah.
The top
Yeah.
of my head hit the one of those top rungs. So
Yikes.
it was like a dark set. It was like different elevation floor, and I was just like in a different headspace. I was in kind of a bad mood, and I just bonked my head. I was like, oh no. And that's how it all went down.
you can get a
But yeah.
concussion just from doing that.
Well, I had a previous concussion, to be honest,
Okay.
on another show I worked on. Right after the pilot, actually, I did another show and I got a concussion on that. And then so it kind of just like re-brought it back. But yeah, I'm doing much better now.
That's good. I'm glad you're doing better. Cause
Thank you.
those are no joke.
No.
No, and it just seems like there's just hazards abound. And so, Taylor's concussion was just like one of the challenges that happened like during season 3. We always say like we're lucky we got the season because there's so many things that seem to have happened that nobody could have foreseen. So just like from your perspective, like during season 3, like what was one of the most like difficult impediments that you had to navigate during that time?
Oh, definitely the Taylor thing. That just set us back. Like I feel so bad for the girl, and like her and I have talked about it. But it was literally like one of those where we had a plan for the season. We had all these scripts in order, and it was just like rewind and rewriting stuff that are to be shot, And so that was a huge undertaking, and our writers were amazing for being able to pull that off. And I think it kind of frankly made the season a little bit better than we had, and they would agree with me on that one. Because like sometimes creative problems, you need a creative solution, so it kind of just made a different opportunity. But that was just huge. Like that was like groundbreaking. Like it was like
Yeah.
an earthquake just went off. So yeah, that was probably our biggest challenge of the season, to be honest.
Are you able to tell us what the original storyline was?
Honestly, it was just very similar, but it was just
Okay.
Taylor
Just
there.
curious.
But it kind of just added a heightened thing with like the mycelium, like an added danger and like a ticking clock. So narratively, it just kind of like raised everything up, like the danger level a bit.
Right.
But yeah.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, raise the stakes, for everybody
Yeah.
else, because you got to get the last member of the unit because she's in Mushroom Land.
Yeah, that's exactly the word I was looking for, was raising the stakes. And
I thought it was Mushroom Land.
That's also a yes, Mushroom Land. It's a creative solution.
Wait, is that the amusement park outside?
Yeah,
Mushroom
right. Basically. But yeah, so yeah, sorry. It was like her whole accent, like it was just terrible and stuff. But and like it's kind of weird for a show. This is a big debate around the other producers. Was like, what does a show do when you lose like your number one star? Like are we gonna lose viewers, or like what? Like how do we navigate this? So, and I feel like all the rest of the cast really kind of stepped up to the challenge and did really well to be able to carry the show.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah,
I really enjoyed like the extra. I feel like we got some extra Scylla in there, like a little more of her independent.
Yeah, we got some side
stuff,
characters coming up.
Thelma,
our
one of our faves.
Isn't she amazing?
She's
so amazing.
Love her.
Yeah.
Listen, we talked to her for 4 hours.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. She's great.
I mean, people aren't going to see that whole thing. We only recorded for 2.5 of that. But
spoiler, everyone.
Yeah. You know what character I love this year? And it's funny because like their character's kind of an asshole. But Millie Longhorse, like
we love Millie.
Okay, but if you take away like her like betraying her people or whatever, I love Millie, and she reminds me of one of her writers, Cherie Dumoulin. I can't remember her last name exactly, but she is just exactly the same.
Yeah,
Dumoulin.
Yeah. She's so cool.
Oh my god, we love her.
Auntie.
We call her Auntie
because she has such auntie.
The glasses, outfits.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh my gosh.
Did you guys see what's on the back of
Liv
Millie
showed
Longhorse's
us.
Jacket?
Yeah. The walking club.
Yeah, Antibodies Walking Club.
Yeah, Antibodies Walking. Yeah.
And then like the wolf with like little booties on it.
Yes.
Yes.
It was so
amazing.
Good.
I don't know if that was part of the interview though.
It wasn't.
Oh.
Here you go, guys.
That was all
Thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah.
So now people know.
But Cody answered one of the questions with that anyway. The favorite character from the show.
Yeah,
question.
but did he? Like, what is your favorite character from the show?
Like from the show period.
From the entire show, my favorite character. You know who I liked was Glory.
Me too. Where was she?
We wish she had more glory.
I don't know. I think
onward to glory.
Onward to glory. I'm not too sure exactly. I think like I don't know if it was like to do with Canada where we shot was really strict with like COVID and quarantine. It was really difficult. So I don't know if there was some like any like scheduling conflicts or anything like that. I was totally left out of the conversation or exactly why she didn't come back, but I loved her. I wanted her to come back. I'm a big fan of like, like shows like Arrested Development where they'll do something and then they're like, what do we do? Why don't we just like grab that thing from an earlier, and then make you look smart and then make it seem like you're calling back, but really you're just pulling. So I really wanted to bring her back, but I don't know the exact reason why she didn't, but I love Glory so much.
She was so great.
Stuffed her in season 3.
Yeah, literally.
It would have been cool, but
that would have been cool.
Things cost money.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Every
Lori.
minute costs money.
Like millions, my friend. Where are we now? I've lost it.
What number
It's your-
7?
Number 7, your question.
Okay. What is something you really wish made it into the show that didn't?
Me?
Answer.
That is the correct answer.
I emailed you guys my audition. I can't figure out how to screen share.
Yeah.
But
Thank you.
yeah, me and Eliot. Like, I wanted Eliot to have a cameo, especially at the
Yes.
wedding. I thought that would have been
Hitchcock style.
so cool.
Yes, the
My-
wedding.
My idea was like
Yes.
when Edwin and
officiated.
Rael are talking at the wedding. I was like, you should just pass by in the background.
Yes.
I can't remember exactly
Ah.
why that didn't happen. It might have been like he got COVID. I know he got that near the end of the show.
That
But
sucks.
I know him and I. Oh my god, that would have been awesome.
That was
The
amazing.
two of
I
you,
would've
you
loved
guys should have
that.
just had a random scene together. I feel like that'd be hilarious.
That would have been so funny.
Yeah.
Just be like, it's like, did
I want
someone
one
eat
of
the
you guys
lobster?
arguing on the street or something, and then like Abigail and Adil pass by
Move.
you.
Yeah. We're walking like a tiny dog together. Or
I do like Bree's idea. He should have officiated the wedding.
Yeah, you're like, screw President Wade.
It would have made more sense.
Elliot, drop it.
Yeah. He's just like
That
a
would have been
minister.
amazing. He's
But
like-
Wade was so cool. Oh my god, her
I love
outfit was so
Wade.
killer
Oh
too.
yeah.
We
Wade slapping
especially when
Silver
she
was
slapped
amazing.
Silver.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
She had
Wasn't
black
that
fingerprints.
awesome? That was like before the Oscar slap. And we saw that, we're like,
Oh,
but oh my god, she killed it.
she killed it.
Cheryl.
Yeah.
She's so good.
What's that?
Sounds
That
like a
was-
sheep.
That was like
That
a
was
turntable.
me as a sheep. Yeah. Well, I was dropping the Cheryl. Get off my case.
So, since you obviously spent a lot of time with Elliot and like were involved with the writing and editing and post and all that stuff, we're wondering how big is the Motherland world that lives in Elliot's brain? Because I feel like
Oh,
we only
it's
see a
huge.
piece. How big is it?
Yeah, it's huge, and it's a shame we couldn't have shown it all. It would have been so dope, honestly. Like
Ugh.
if we could have had the 7 seasons and or whatever. But it was like honestly massive, and it was really cool just to talk to him and stuff about it, and just the way he kind of like thinks of things and comes up with it. It's just brilliant. Like I remember when I read the pilot, I was like, holy shit, like this is so sick. Like before Motherland, I was working on like Christmas movies, like nonstop,
dear.
like Hallmark movies.
Oh dear.
And then to work on something
No.
like
How are
this
you
daring-
okay?
Yeah, it's just huge, and I really hope he can do a book series, or I think he's mentioned about possibility of doing a graphic novel, and I think those would all be so sick.
Yeah, that'd make a great.
I think we'll
graphic
take
novel.
anything.
Yeah, really?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
a blog.
Yeah, just Elliot's thoughts. That could be the
Just
blog.
like bullet points.
Yeah.
Just be like, this is what
Yeah,
I want
just
to
give us
happen.
outlines.
Mushroom
I
blog.
don't know.
Then the writers, the fanfic writers, will just take it away for you.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we really need like 10 seasons with 20 episodes per season. Thank you.
Oh my god, at 22.
Yes,
that'd be
at
so
least like
amazing.
20
Yeah.
for the 3 seasons. Like 10 episodes is not enough.
Yeah. I really want to do an episode where we just watch Motherland TV. Because, like, TV plays a lot in a pilot where they're watching the news and stuff. And I wanted to see, like, shows where it's like Jerry Springer, where it's like, my daughter won't enlist. And she's like, you can't make me.
Oh my god, that'd be better than the news they're always watching. That'd be hilarious.
That would. Like,
That
because
would
we
be
only ever
interesting.
see them watch the news. And it's like, are there any other shows?
I know. I really wanted, like, America's Most Wanted, where it's
Yeah.
like, the unit.
Cops.
Yeah. Camarilla cops.
A cops episode where they hunt down the unit.
They could do the real witch, like the housewives.
Oh
show
my
the
God.
real witch house. It would be the real witch husbands of Salem.
Of the
honestly.
Atlantic.
The real
It's
witch
just
daddies.
Real
The
witch
real
daddies.
witch daddies of the High Atlantic.
It's like all the fights between Anton, Claude, and Fermi.
Yes, I was just picturing them arguing over like, but I made the salmon.
I can't believe you picked that drapery for the sitting room.
The president's coming. Damn, man.
Yeah.
Have Eliot write that
So
too
many
in his graphic
opportunities.
novel. That'd be hysterical.
Yeah. I hope that's that.
That's just a spin-off, just like limited edition.
Exactly. I've got
Yeah.
Furman's pants if they literally.
Wait,
I
whose
just,
pants do you
His
have?
pants too?
I have Furman's pants.
Do you?
Yes. I also
That's
have
awesome.
like Rael and Scylla's green screen outfits.
Cool.
Two of Edwin's shirts. One Scylla's police jacket from season 2, the Boston police one.
Wow. That's a good haul.
A
You already
Dill's
mentioned
pants.
Dill's pants, yeah.
A Quinn shirt
And then something else, like a counselor. I think it was like somebody in The Hague.
Right. Is that all from the auction?
Yeah.
Amazing. I stole that from
Oh,
I stole a
nice.
poster from, I think it's from 204.
Nice.
And then I have
Nice.
Yeah, it is.
and then you've probably seen it on my Instagram, but I have like the one painting that sits above Alder's desk of like her fighting the British.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I got a question from that post, but that's later in the interview, so I
Oh.
get ahead of myself.
Let me jump onto my social media.
You can ask it now, Kaitlynn. Just ask. You want
Yeah.
to. Just do it.
I
really
want
Do it, Kaitlynn. Just do it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wait, it's not my question though.
Just do it.
Okay.
Go now. Just ask. The answer's up.
I'm gonna read it how I wrote it. What the hell did Will Ferrell do?
What? So I didn't get to meet Will Ferrell, which is a slight disappointment 'cause he's like,
Come on,
Big
You've been
idol
here
of mine
since
as a
the
kid.
beginning.
well, he was a part of the Gary Sanchez studio.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like having, sometimes you do a show and it'll be like Ben Stiller, but like, it's just a name to help sell the show. And he worked on Elliot's first movie, Welcome to Me. And it was same sort of thing of being executive producer, and he helped out Elliot a bunch with like promoting it. So it's just kind of like that, like helping promote. I don't know if he had any say, or he could have, but it would have been sick to have him. So yeah, that's why I stole his chair name, because he's
Wait, he had a chair name and everything. He wasn't even there.
just on standby, just in case he felt like taking a trip up to Vancouver. So I scooped that up
Nice.
when we were wrapping up
As
the
you
office.
should.
Mm-hmm.
That's
But
who
yeah.
should have officiated the wedding.
Oh,
Oh
my
my-
god, could you
Oh
imagine?
my
God.
We've
Yeah.
gotten vows and speaking because he has to have lines if he's in it.
It wouldn't just be music, yeah. trust
No,
me.
never. It'd be his
Oh my
whatever his
gosh.
ceremony is. Damn,
I've been
we were
I've
robbed.
been on this thing since the first episode I watched and saw Will Ferrell. So I went down a rabbit hole of research and did find the Gary Sanchez, which is now Gloria Sanchez, because him and Adam McKay split apart. We don't have to get into that right now. But yeah, I just wanted to know if he had any direct involvement in it, or if it was just because he was the head of the production company.
Not during my time that I know of, simply to put it, but I was just a huge fan of him. Like I saw Anchorman like a bazillion times.
Same.
And even in high school, like in my grade 12 write-up, I wrote him and Seth Rogen as inspirations, and since then I've technically worked for both of them, so kind of dope.
That's cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
You do a lot of cool things. Like
Thanks.
but what's something you accomplished while working on Motherland that you're most proud of?
Getting some of my writing on the screen was like unexpected and like fucking amazing. So there was just like the odd time where like Eliot read a few of my scripts and he really liked my dialogue. So there's a few times where it's like, hey, we need a line here, Cody, you got any ideas? And I'm like, here's 50 ideas, you know. Here's more jokes about butts. You know? So there's the odd time, or like the odd time where it's like, hey, we need to change this scene from a hallway to a stairway, and it's like, okay, well, I'll have to tweak what they're saying off the top, you know, stuff like that. So any of those where I can just point them out and be like, I did that. That's so cool to me.
What do you remember?
It's so
of them?
cool to
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, well, my favorite line I did, and I was in the pilot, and we had to like reshoot a bunch of it because we recasted Abigail. And so there's a line where Tally says, "Oh, I think I have like mud in my butt," and then Abigail says, "We all have mud in our butts." Tally. Yeah, that was me.
That's such a good line.
Oh, I love that line so much. That whole interaction in that scene was great.
That was the best. Oh, I'm so glad that you now it makes sense. The butt jokes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the first thing that came to mind. And then there's one really good one I wrote in the pilot, but you can't really hear it. It's when Tally is like getting on the plane and a guy gives her seat or his seat or whatever, and there's somebody in the background that says, "She won't need a return flight."
I
You
heard
know?
that.
I heard that. I know.
It's in the subtitles as well.
Yeah.
So
Oh, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really challenge how mean my sister was in doing that one. And yeah, there's just a few other ones I can't really remember. My big scene that I got to write was I wrote the teaser of the finale in season 1 with the soccer player.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
So that one was cool just because, like, you know, I'm like a sports geek. So Eliot, it was like on an outline, so it's kind of like chunk was there, just needed to be in script form. So Eliot threw me a bone there, and I wrote that. But what made it extra cool was the girl spree person was like my roommate's girlfriend, and
Wow.
she got cast in the role without like me interfering at all. Like I didn't say anything until the day, and I was like, "Yo, what's up, Darby?" And we got pictures together, and that was like such a cool moment.
I love that. That's very full circle.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a cool one.
Yeah. So, yeah, just like a lot of little things, but anytime I can be like, that was my idea or whatever, it's exciting. There are some ideas I pitch are just bad, but
That's part of the process, right?
Part of the
Yeah.
process.
What do you think is bad? Like, what's an idea? Okay, well, what's an idea that you really wanted to put in there that, or like that you didn't even get to pitch, but you would want to do?
That's a really good question. Yeah, I don't want to say who, but there's like certain people I'm like, let's just kill them. You know?
Okay, George.
And sometimes I watch this
Martin.
show, I'm like, I think we should have killed them. But
Can you tell us later?
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
Or you can just tell us now because we have to cut this part out anyway.
There was I'll tell you guys later. There was one pitch. There was like one time we like in the writer's room, we had to like you know the ice witch in 308? Before it was an ice witch, it was supposed to be a bog witch. And they sent the writers out to like kind of write pitches about this bog witch. And I wrote like this such like insane 7-page long pitch about how Alder and this bog witch need to fuck and all this stuff. And I even like pitched it with this like meme I found on Twitter. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
I love you, man.
I love it.
So at the end of my 7-page pitch, I posted this picture that said, "Sex? No thanks. I'm saving myself for the bog witch."
Oh my god! Come on, that could have been awesome.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
I love it.
I know I say this in every interview, but like, Cody, I love you.
Oh, thanks. I love you guys too.
I said it before you this time, so
You did. Oh
So that's what I bring
my
to a
God,
writer's room, you know.
It's the best.
That
So
is the
you're
best.
the fun. You're the fun
Yeah.
writers.
I try.
The mud in the butt in the writer's room.
the mud in the butt in the writer's room.
Yeah.
It sounds like a Clue answer.
Clue to what? Keep you
It
guessing.
was the mud in the butt in the writer's room, you know. It was Colonel Mustard in the study with the candlestick. Never mind.
It's funny. I was listening to one of
I
your guys.
got it.
I got it. I was just
I
like,
was
anyway.
listening to I was listening to one of your guys' episodes earlier, and you guys were talking about is it shiny, like stuff like that, and I was like, and then I was sitting there, I'm like, I wonder if anybody would have one that's like an inch from their butt, you know.
Listen,
I'm sure
people
someone
have
does.
speculated
Yeah.
that Scylla's was an inch from her butt, but then that got when, you know, because it would be like opposite of Rael's.
Yeah,
Since
right.
hers is an inch from her vagina. But I guess we found out that that's on her abdomen, so whatevs.
According to
Oh,
Elliot's
yeah,
brain.
According to Elliot's brain.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
This has been fun, you guys, honestly.
Oh,
Absolutely.
good. We're glad.
Yeah.
But less fun. A less fun thing.
It's still fun.
You posted a photo of the mall scene from the pilot on your Instagram. What was it like being there for filming a mass death scene? Was it hard to film as it was to watch?
No, it's kind of funny because filming it because we just use dummies a lot. So
that would make it less impactful.
Yeah, and it's just like fake pools of blood and stuff. So, and like, oh man, I just remember a lot of drone shots. When I think about that day, I just hear a humming of a drone because we shot it in the Vancouver Public Library, which kind of looks like sort of like a coliseum.
Whoa.
So
It looks really cool. I got to
It
go.
does.
Mm-hmm. So I just remember the drone a lot, but it wasn't that difficult. Honestly, it was just kind of a long. I think maybe we shot it over 2 days, so it just took a long time. But
was it like a big,
so cool.
expensive drone? It's not like a drone you can buy in the store, right?
Yeah, no, it wasn't from AliExpress or anything like that.
AliExpress.
I have a drone. I'm a licensed pilot, actually.
Oh, cool.
So I love it.
Yeah. Those drone guys are so awesome.
It's
Drone guys and
terrifying.
women. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because
I would
you
freak
just
out.
crash and you just lose so much money.
Oh, I like struggle so hard with flying with drones because like your accelerator and then you're turning, and then if the drone gets behind you, you're like so screwed up. I can't deal with it.
There's so many times I'm just like, where are you? And I'm trying to look at the footage and I'm just like, and then like I finally get, I'm like, wait, how are you over there? That's also my thought process.
I believe it. Kate.
So, when we first met you, you commented on one of our posts letting us know that Ron made a cameo on Vera's shirt.
Yeah.
Which, thank you for that, because what a gem. After we just like spoke to Ron.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other little like behind the scenes fun things that happen like that you could share with us?
Oh, that's a really good question. But yeah, that Ron thing, I was so excited.
So great.
That was my idea.
Yes!
And just because he has like
Yay!
crusty
Of course it
clown
was.
hair.
Yes.
So I was really excited about that. Little fun things. Did you guys catch in 310 that it's Amanda Tapping speaking as the goddess under Lynn?
No.
No.
No,
What?
we haven't gotten to talk to Amanda Tapp.
I wish.
Breaking news. But yeah.
Breaking news. It was
I love
Amanda
that.
Tapping.
Yeah, it was I think it's in the credits, but yeah, so that's her doing voiceover under Lynn, and that
That's
was
awesome.
Elliot's idea. But little things like that I'll have to think about. There are in the mall attack when Scylla comes back in like 201, there are a bunch of pictures of me, but they didn't make in the cut. So there's a bunch of pictures of my
Like
sister and
memorials,
I.
you mean?
Yeah. And then I like told a set decorator after, he's like, oh, I would have like turned those around, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's okay. But there's a few little, if you look really close, there's a few like pictures of me just dead.
Dead
As
Cody.
a missing person. Yeah.
Here's dead Cody, everyone.
Wasn't
that
your
is fun,
sister in one of the episodes as a missing person?
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, I think it's the same episode. Her and I both are in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
That's
just like a family
awesome.
photo.
I love that.
Mhm.
Family photo when
Missing
you're
family
dead.
photo.
Yeah.
Our fictional family.
Yeah.
No, of no more.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, the next question's mine. Sorry, I got really distracted, but that's not surprising at all. Okay, so in your bio on IMDb,
Oh Jesus.
It's Kaitlyn's research time. This is a real
I
hot
didn't
seat.
research corner.
I only got to do social media. I didn't get to do my deep dive on Google, which I'm sad about. But anyway, I read that you have moved every 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And I have also moved a lot, about 25 or 26 times so far in my life.
Oh my god.
I'm 24.
Wow, that's insane. Oh my goodness. I look like I have such an easier life than you. I moved like 9 times by the time I was 18, so.
I mean, moving sucks no matter what.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But personally, I think this made me turn to television shows a lot more, as it was something that was constant and always there for me. Like, I was like, the characters that I don't make friends as easy, so they were always there. I'm like, cool, these are my friends. But do you feel like moving made you turn to media more?
Yeah, 100%. I growing up I was sort of like Abigail Bellwether, like, to be honest. I don't know, what was the reason you moved? Was it like for your parents' work? Like, were they in the army?
So my mom got sick when I was
Oh,
younger,
okay.
and we actually became homeless, and
Oh.
so we just had to like keep moving. Yeah, so unfortunately, I was like, I don't know if I. There's a whole documentary about it. It's all right.
About you?
Yeah, I made it.
Yeah,
It's
she
Oh,
made
on
it.
wow.
Amazon.
It's on Amazon.
Oh man, I'm such a
and
fake fan.
YouTube.
Oh, please, like, honestly, please email it to me. I'd love to check it out. But yeah, I moved a lot because kind of like, you know, how army brats move in the States.
Yeah.
In Canada, we have like a national police force, and my dad was a police officer, so we had to move every couple of years to go to like a new posting.
Oh wow.
And yeah, absolutely, like, totally, I feel you on that one. Like, I would like have just like cassettes of Disney movies and stuff, and I would just watch those over and over again. And then I would just start watching TV, and I got really into like Fox animation, like The Simpsons, King of the Hill, like all those shows. And it was just a huge routine. Like, I'd come home from school, I would just start watching Simpsons and whatever was on next. And you know, I moved a lot. I was like a chubby kid. Didn't always have friends. I got bullied often, so I just kind of went to that. And then after all, I just started writing my own stuff and shooting my own stuff, and, you know, I'd make web comics and post them online, and that's just kind of where it came from.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I totally feel you, Kaitlynn.
Yeah. I mean, no
Yeah.
matter the reason, moving just is awful.
It
It's
does.
so hard making friends everywhere you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and hard to keep in touch. Like, I know, like,
Yes.
you know, we're probably similar age, and would have like Facebook or Instant Messenger, which helps. But, you know, there's some people where you just move away and they just cut contact with you. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah, no, I had a friend break up with me, basically. They're like, you're moving to another state. We should not be friends anymore. I'm like,
Oh, that's so
cool.
lame.
It is lame.
Cool. You
Yeah.
weren't a good influence on me anyway, so.
Bye, bitch. No, I
It's
totally
okay, I got
feel-
these two now.
I totally
That's great.
feel what you mean, because that was me growing up too. Like, I didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't go anywhere. I played
Mhm.
sports and that was it, but I didn't like make friends when I played sports because all like was just I was the weird kid that liked stuff that wasn't mainstream. So
Mhm.
I refused to watch movies that were made past 1965
Oh,
until
man.
I was like in college. So
Okay.
I watched classic movies over and over and over until I got into others, until I found Buffy. And then I was obsessed with that for, you know, every season. So
Mhm.
I totally feel that too. And media can be such a home when
Yeah.
you don't really have, like Kaitlynn said, a big friend group or a lot of support elsewhere. So
Mhm.
it's
And
also
that's-
the great thing about Motherland. So.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, taking the job with Motherland, I was so like honored and like felt really like pleased to be able to be a part of this, and like seeing the outreach from the community, like like especially like the queer community and stuff, feeling like unrepresented, and finally having this show. I felt like this is what I really wanted to do. I wanted to make shows that like help people the same way TV has helped me.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because
I do
I
too.
always talk about how much I believe like media has so much power to change the way the
Mhm.
world thinks and do so much good. So like
Mhm.
wanting to make a difference in the stuff that you create and not necessarily wanting to do Hallmark shows unless you can make them more queer, because then we would like you to go back to that and make them more queer.
Yeah.
That's your assignment, Cody.
It is funny. I don't want to burn bridges with Hallmark because it is great money, but I just had to emotionally take a break. But I do have a question for you guys. Is there times where you're, because like I'm straight or hetero or whatever, is there times where you're watching a show and there's queer characters and you're like, oh, I know a straight guy wrote this? Like, what are like kind of
absolutely.
what are the signs? Because I'm like worried about, I would love to write queer characters. Like I have so many queer people in my life, but I just don't want to like fuck it up. So what do you guys think are like kind of the signs?
First of all, I just want to say, good on you for asking, because I think that's the difference between a good writer and a just one in it for money or something. So I will let them. They'll be more articulate about this.
Mhm.
I don't know about that. Don't do what Killing Eve did. No,
Oh
just kidding.
God! Don't write like Laura Neal. She's great at ruining television shows. Like,
I think
She's
a lot
very
of it
passionate
is
about that.
I hate her.
just seeing queer characters in having very stereotypical conversations that don't feel authentic.
Okay.
Like almost, I don't know what I'm trying to say exactly, but almost tokenizing in a way, but
Mhm.
making it so queerness is the only thing about the character.
Right. They don't have a personality outside of that.
Yeah, like
Right.
you're gay and that's why you're in the show. Because that's what it comes off like. Like,
Okay.
you don't know gay people or you don't know queer people, so you're putting what you think queer people are in your writing, and it's coming off as inauthentic. So I think basically the big thing to do is just ask questions like you've already done, or like if you write a scene with queer characters, go to one of your queer friends is like, does this sound authentic to you? Like, does this like, because think about Rael and Scylla, those two characters never once in the entire run of the series came off as inauthentic. They were that's why they made such an impact, is because they were so well acted, written, everything. It was literally the perfect storm for me personally in two queer characters that I had not seen to that point. No television show had achieved that, in my opinion, to that point. So
I
do
have
what
one
Eliot
thing
and the
to
other
add.
writers did.
I don't know if you have before, but talk to Keenan, because Keenan has such great insight into this.
He really does. I don't know, Theora, do you have anything?
Yeah, everything you said, I agree with. Like, again, like, I think, yeah, what you said, basically, like, having their queerness be, like, the central part of their character, like, can come off as, like, forcing it versus, like, again, Rael and Scylla were, like, people that just, like, happen to be into each other kind of thing. That helps. And if you're writing a relationship like theirs, again, it was, like, they had a lot of elements to them that just felt natural. Like, they did a lot of, like, tactile, like, hand holding, and like it wasn't just like every time you see them they're like fucking, and it's like, okay, like, Jesus Christ.
So, because that's
like,
what we've
they
had.
a relationship, they had conversations, they talked about running away together. It's like, if you're gonna do it, like, show like them having moments where they're just like talking to each other about normal stuff, like what Romeo and Juliet teenagers don't try to run away together. Like, it humanizes them,
Cool.
Yeah.
Also, like, afterthoughts. Because there's so many, like, relationships that are just thrown in there to, like...
Disney. Oh, you see those people kissing in the background? There you go, guys.
Oh, yeah.
I
know what you mean.
Actually, there was a few freeform shows that did it in the beginning of, like, like the representation changing. Like, oh god, I keep getting this confused with switches, but Stitchers. In the third season, they just randomly put in the queer storyline, which I still love, but then they got canceled, so there was nothing. So like those things, just an afterthought, basically, just to be like, oh hey, yeah, we do have it. But yeah, just more
I
plan it out.
Theora's point was super important because that's one of the things that's missing a lot from queer relationships early on when representation was coming in, and even now is you see actors that are kind of like, I'm sorry, but I don't believe it. They look like they're BFFs just chilling. Like there's no like real natural little relationship things that you do like she said Rael and Scylla do. Like they just touch each other randomly or just have conversations about, you know, things that still drive the plot but are, you know, mundane in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So really like
those two actresses are so smart too, and great chemistry. But
they worked on that.
Yeah, they did an amazing job. But yeah, thank you guys so much.
It's more than our pleasure.
Seriously.
Thank you for asking.
We appreciate
We love you
that.
even more now.
Yeah. Okay, listen. Okay, you seem like you like to lean towards comedy. Like more queer people in comedies, please. Like that's my favorite genre, and we're never in it.
Okay, absolutely. I'll work on that. Yeah, it's funny. I was in a writer's group the other day, and I'm like, it's kind of funny. Like, I notice a lot of people are just afraid to write gay men, and I'm like, why not? You know, just like
also it's always stereotypical.
Yeah, like just crazy, you know, flamboyant, you know,
over the top.
And and like my best friend growing up was gay, and him and I just acted exactly the same, like all the time. You know, we were like best buds. So yeah, I would love to do stories like that.
Yeah, that's
absolutely
normalizing, period, all the way. But speaking of writing, what's something that you'd like to do in your career with writing, and what makes you passionate about wriing?
I would love an on-screen credit.
Yes,
we want that for you too.
Yeah, thank you. My God, honestly, the bigger, like outside of like winning awards or anything like that, my biggest thing is like touch people in the way that Motherland has touched people. Like I tell us Eliot, like fuck, like I'd love to have like a cult following.
Sorry guys,
it's okay.
I forgot to mute myself.
Is there like a dog rubbing in a microphone?
She turned her camera off, but she didn't mute herself.
We will edit that out. Don't worry.
I can turn it back. So what I'd like to do is just create something like a movie or a TV show or whatever, be a part of it. That just helps people, you know, just helps people the same way like a show like The Simpsons helped me, or help Motherland help like so many people. That's my long game, honestly.
Honestly, like that's probably one of the best goals ever. And it goes back to like what Kaitlynn said about like the power of media. And so like for me, like I work in infectious diseases.
Holy shit.
Yes. So
busy couple years for you, eh?
Yeah, and I just wanted to touch on that just for like a second because during the pandemic, like when it happened and we had to like got our first wave of cases and we didn't really have ways to treat patients, we were just like watching our patients die, and like it was very like it's like PTSD. It's very psychologically damaging and just very hopeless. And so at the end of the day, since we're all quarantined, like coming back and having like media, it was a way to kind of like escape from reality and just have something hopeful. So like, thank you for like dedicating your life and like your career to like giving people that, because while I'm in the business of like providing medicine, like to me, that was my medicine that like helped me recover at the end of the day. So like, thank you for putting time into shows like Motherland and like keeping it going during pandemics and things like that. Like it really does make a difference. And it in a world where we're kind of disconnected, like none of us live in the same state, like it does connect people and help them, you know, form friendships and stay in touch and things like that. So I really hope you get to like see the fruits of your labor, because it really does make a big difference.
Well, first off, like hats off to you guys for working in the medical sector. Like I can imagine how intense that is.
She's on the real front lines. I'm just in surgery.
Oh, nice. Are you a surgeon or like what do you do?
I'm a surgical assistant, so I'm
Cool.
the babysitter. I get to babysit the surgeons.
Okay. Is it like I need a scalpel and then you're there?
It's like, I'm gonna need all of these things for this case, and then I'm in there with my hand in somebody's chest, and they're like, all right, can you hand me 3 other things? And I'm like, I have 2 hands, sir.
Yes.
This is also the cool thing because of their work. They're able to dissect different things from Motherland.
Where we
And it's
screwed up.
just-
No.
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 Oh.
No.
I mean, I did
thank
have
you.
a few things where I'm like, okay, that scalpel is the wrong number blade, but that's just like stuff that nobody's gonna know unless they're in the field, so it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Theora did have questions about the witch plague, but
Oh, geez.
Right. What is it? What does it want? How did it evolve that quickly?
Oh, I
How was there
cannot
a cure in
answer
3
this
days?
I'm glad you can't answer it. I can't either. Yeah.
question. I wish I could.
What?
I seriously cannot. I wasn't there for the birth of the witch plague, and I think in the season 2 writers room. But all I can tell you is just like it seeks out, it knows which blood, I guess. It knows who's a witch, and it can just seek it out and neutralize the target. And how there was a vaccine in 3 days. Isadora is so fucking good at her job.
yeah,
Exactly.
Isadora's amazing.
She's amazing. I wasn't surprised by
Isadora
that
is the
piece
most-
one bit.
No, not
I
what
was like,
actually.
it's been
'cause
3 days,
Isadora.
of course.
Isadora has her own segment on the podcast.
We love her so much. Because, like, okay, Elliot's always like, listen, we have this amazing, that world is ending. Who on earth could figure this out? Alder will delegate it to Isadora. It happens so many times. They're like, this is impossible. You got this, right? And then she's like, yes, an episode later. She's amazing.
She's
And
so
it's
cool.
like
and
not
that
even in the
actress.
same fields.
Yeah.
So she knows everything about science.
Everything.
Her
Mhm.
lab is
Real
her
student.
home with her mushroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, she rocks. And that actress, we love her. She's so cool, Emily.
She is.
Emily's great.
We love
Mhm.
her. I'm curious, off book question, but like curious though. Were you involved when they were creating Albin at all?
No, I wish I was, but holy shit, when Bob Fraser,
Yeah.
so good.
Yes.
Oh my god, I might have been there during the auditions. I can't remember in the casting. I don't think so.
Yeah, he
but-
told us he basically auditioned for somebody else, and then they're like, "No, we're gonna do something else with you." So I was just wondering how how
Ooh.
Albin evolved from Bob,
Ooh.
basically.
I don't think I was there for that then. I'm sorry.
That's
It
okay.
was funny during the season 2 writers room. I think I worked on the show Snowpiercer, so I was gone on another show.
Gotcha.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay.
I was like season 1 finished shooting, and then I was off, and I worked on another show, and I came back for season 2 starting to shoot, and then I was just on it till the end.
Gotcha.
Fair
So
enough.
yeah, sorry, but Albin, oh my god,
Bob is such a great actor. It's just like his character is terrible, like morally dubious, but like
Yeah.
he's so theatrical, and just watching him is just he's incredible.
yeah. I don't know if you guys want to use this. So I tried doing the screen share. Let me see if I can do it because you guys would get such a kick out of my audition that I did. Let me see if I can do it real quickly. It might not work. I emailed it to you guys, but basically I auditioned to be her assistant.
Yes.
Yes.
Rob
me
is so
see.
many things.
Okay, I
can
don't know
also try to
Iris
pull
at
it
all.
up.
I'll
do it.
Yeah.
I emailed it to whoever
The
sent me an
Gmail.
email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
So
be like, we
basically-
have 2 right now.
Oh.
I got it.
So so I can give some backstory for it. So we talked about in the season 3 writers room of having an assistant for Hearst, and then his name was Camaria Carl, and
I love
That's
that. Yes.
amazing.
Okay.
And so one day, I wrote my own scene for Camaria Carl, and I shot my own audition that night, and I had my wife read the lines off camera. And then I just sent it to the writer's room, and they're like, sorry, we were looking for somebody evil, not lovable. So,
Oh!
No.
Well, it's
are
a good
very
way to
lovable.
lose a job.
yeah, being too nice. And then his character turned out, we didn't name him on the screen. His name was like First Assistant, but he's the guy in 30, I think 5 or 6 or something, where Sterling and Anacostia escape and they like snap his neck or whatever. And then they speak.
Oh.
So it was that guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
if
he
you
would've
gave him a
died.
name, you'd have to pay him more, right?
Something like that.
I
It's just
just
a little
wanna
easier
confirm
sometimes
that.
to be like, sometimes it's easier to just be like assistant
Yeah.
instead of being like, who's Frank? You know?
Then it's a
No,
trivia
sure.
question later. Who was Frank? Like, what? Oh, nice.
That's why you call
Caitlin.
him Camaria Carl.
Yeah.
That's
know
such a
who he is.
banger of a name. I
I'm
love it.
sorry. I have a dog that's being so annoying right now.
She wants love.
Can you not? All right, you know what? The two of you are gone. I love them. They're annoying right now. All right, we need to watch Camaria Carl. I'm very excited about this.
Super excited.
Hi, my name is Cody Peterson. I'm 6'5", from Vancouver, British Columbia, and yes, I can work as a local, and yes, I'll start dieting after this weekend. I love this show. I've seen most of the first season. Here's my resume, Dr. Hurst. I'm available whenever. Evenings, weekends, I'll do anything, even your laundry.
What are your goals and or motivations, Carl?
To follow your footsteps, of course. Your work at Fort Salem was fucking sick.
So you have an MFA from Penn State and a summer internship at Nickelodeon, not necessarily one would point to as Camaria material.
Oh, believe me, I'm for the cause. I hate those goddess damn witches more than anyone. I've seen what they do, or at least my cousin told me what they do. He said, sometimes a witch, they'll look right into you, right into your eyes. You know, the thing about witches, they've got lifeless eyes, black eyes, like doll's eyes. When they come at you, they don't seem to be living. Until she wind strikes you, and those black eyes roll over white, and then, oh.
Yes, that is exactly my experience with witches.
Totally, they suck. My cousin Ricky said he lost 100 men fighting witches over one night at a Kid Rock show that was supporting Not Our Daughters.
You know, Carl, I just had a brilliant idea. Your experience with Nickelodeon might come into use. I've been thinking about putting my one-man show about my life experiences.
That's a fucking great idea, Dr. Hurst.
Go show.
Okay, the Kid Rock reference. Oh, that was
Oh, and the Bass Pro hat.
I couldn't hear anything throughout that whole time, so I have no idea what happened.
Oh
Oh,
no!
it was
we
great.
got the audio.
Thank you.
You just made my face hurt so bad.
I have no idea what
So
happened.
much. Just know that Carl, you know, he had some sick ideas.
Yeah, and I put some Jaws references in there because Elliot loves that movie. I was trying.
All right. So, last question before we jump into Kaitlyn's research corner. So, what direction would you like to take your career, kind of like after Motherland? Like, what's on the horizon for you?
Well, next step is, I'd like to get into another writer's room, and I'd like to get out of being a personal assistant. Like, it's a great gig, but I'm just kind of growing out of it. So I'd like to get into writing, and I'd like to, you know, even do some like indie stuff, like shoot a short film or maybe shoot an indie feature. So that's the kind of direction I want to take, is more serious, like actually writing and producing.
Absolutely. We would love to see anything you could make a reality. That'd be super fun.
Oh,
We
thank
hope you
you.
get it.
So you brought up being into like the post-production. Were you in the editing room? Do you do any editing?
Not in the editing room per se, because all the editing was like in LA or people were working from home, so it's all over Zoom. I do have editing experience, clearly from my audition.
Yes.
And so there was times where I'm like, hey, what if we do like this kind of edit or blah blah blah. But it was mostly just over Zoom, pretty much.
I just wanted to know your experience for this question.
Mhm.
Because it wouldn't make sense if you didn't actually have any editing experience. What is your opinion on the crossfade?
Like audio or like in the picture?
Video.
Like, okay, so you know what? It looks so dope in old movies. I think it looks so cool in old movies, like when they can really do it, or if there's like a really like creative and like interesting and intelligent way to do it. I think it's sick. But if you just like go into Premiere and drop the crossfade template in, you're gonna get called out for that.
I love you, Cody. I love you.
She has gone on about crossfade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because people just use them and it makes no sense.
Mm-hmm. I've made that
It's just a
mistake in
crush.
film school. Yeah, I made that mistake in film school where I literally did a short, like 2 or 3 minutes long. Every edit was crossfaded, and my teacher was like, "The fuck are you doing? Are you kidding me?" And I had to like re-examine my life.
Like, what do you
Because
think
of
you
the
are, a
crossfade.
Hallmark movie?
You committed the cardinal sin.
Hallmark. We don't want to
My
get you in trouble
editing
with
teacher
Hallmark.
would knock you down a whole grade if you used a crossfade and not creatively, and it wasn't warranted.
Yeah.
Like not freeform, but Motherland in the wedding.
No.
One of the episodes.
Wade was giving her speech, and they were like showing like what the passage of time. And they're like Petra arresting people.
I was like,
crossfade.
okay, I can get behind that. There were still a little too many for my liking, but I can get behind that one. I'm very passionate about this.
Crossfades.
Yeah. Theora, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Theora?
Yeah, that's right. Hey.
Is correct. Like, of actually showing passing of time, like it kind of worked there, and I didn't bump on it, but no, I totally know what you mean, Kaitlynn. Like, I've seen some really shitty ones. I also like in Star Wars when they do the really stupid like transitions where it's like a clock, like swipes like that. Those are so hokey. They only work in Star Wars because they're dumb.
Yep.
It's like the only place that fits.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, editing is so powerful. You can like completely change the story with editing. I love this industry.
Yeah.
But while we're on the technical side, I saw that you have a Sony camera.
Yeah. Oh my god, I do. I don't use. Actually, I just used it a couple. I used it last weekend actually, but yeah, I have a A7S, I think, but it costs way too much money, and I hardly use it. Do you have that pain too?
I want to know why you picked Sony.
Well, the reason was I really like how it is in low light, and I like to, when I shoot myself, or like shoot things on my own, I like to have a really small crew. Like, I don't want a whole bunch of people. I'd rather just like me and somebody else, honestly. So I liked how much it could pick up low light, and I could shoot 4K on it. So that was a big selling point for me. And then I bought it, and it was like the cost of a used car. And then I was like, I'm so fucked. And then I hardly used it. And I'm like, now the value is like disintegrated into like nothing. But I still use it the odd time. And I like looked at Canons and stuff, but I'm a Canon, by the way. I love Canons. I just decided to go with the Sony for I don't know, whatever reason. I think it was like cool
low
camera.
light they do really well with low light. But my school used Canon, so that's kind of fell in there.
Yeah, we had 7Ds at my school that we used a little bit. It was like the last semester we're allowed to use 7Ds. And there were
like the Reds. You can't use Reds or anything.
No, you'd have to like know a guy or rent that out So
Okay.
it wasn't, yeah. And so, and then I like the 7Ds, but like the Sony camera that I got was more for just like video, and that was kind of perfect
Yeah.
for what I wanted. I didn't really care about taking stills. But yeah, I should really use it some more and actually make some stuff.
You're like,
We agree.
but I can buy it, so like I'm gonna buy it. I bought a whole like studio worth of equipment, so I didn't have to go into our film equipment room because it was so emotionally abusive there.
Really? Oh,
yeah,
man.
so I was like, for so long I didn't actually have a reason to use most of this other than classes.
Mhm.
Luckily now I have a job where I can use it, but
Yeah.
it's just the drone is collecting dust right now.
Yeah, it's so tough to buy too, because then you like start doing the math and you're like, ah, crap, that would have been like so much cheaper to rent. Or I don't know what kind of city you're in, Kaitlynn, where you have like rental
I'm near
houses.
Philadelphia.
Oh, cool.
Wasn't that where the mall was supposed to take place?
The
Maybe.
mall is somewhere in Massachusetts. to be
Massachusetts, yeah.
honest.
Oh no,
Yeah.
there was some place that was around Philly. I feel like.
Huh.
It's probably a Spree attack. Was the pool?
That sounds right.
Something.
the
I think
one
it
with
was
the-
something
Pennsylvania.
Spree.
Yeah, something Spree. Because that the Spree is how we travel. Because there's a title card and they're
Yeah.
like, something bad's going to happen. We're not in Massachusetts.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
But no, I've always wanted to visit Philly. I haven't really spent much time on the East Coast. I've only been to like to New York City and
I
like
don't like New
Montreal.
York.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't like cities. I like Vancouver.
Vancouver is so pretty. It's very expensive though.
West Coast is
Not as expensive as Theora City.
I live in San Francisco, California.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's hard. That's hard living.
I love
Lovely
it.
city though.
West Coast
Yeah.
is gorgeous. I'm originally from the East Coast of the United States. I'm born in New York. I lived in Florida, which is
sorry.
the hellhole. Yeah, I know. Mhm. But like now, I like it was raised on the East Coast. Never thought about it. Ended up getting a job during COVID out here, and like it's the West Coast is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous.
Yeah, I love San Francisco.
Yeah, me too. I don't.
How about
wanna
you,
leave.
Bree? Now that we're doxing ourselves.
Yeah.
Walmart.
Oh dear, this comes up
Sorry,
every time.
Caitlin.
Stop it, Caitlin. You'll get an
I
explanation.
live in Northwest Arkansas, which is where Walmart originated, and it's
Whoa.
we have like a shit ton of the richest people in the world because they're all Waltons and they've all got
Yeah.
money out their ass. And so they own the whole place basically. So in Arkansas, there's like, you know, this part of Arkansas, and then you go to Northwest Arkansas and it's like rich people.
Mhm.
So everything's a little more, I don't know, bougie up here.
Yeah. What's the tea with the Waltons? Are they always like breaking the law and getting away with it?
They're not that bad. It's
Okay.
it's our I don't know if you know who the Duggars are.
Oh yeah.
They're from here too.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
they're 19
Josh-
kids and counting, right?
Yes. So
Yeah.
Josh,
Oh.
old Mr. Child bad videos
Yeah.
himself and stuff. But that's probably our most famous recent criminal. But
Mhm.
yeah, our Walmarts are way fancier. I don't know if you've been I know everywhere else they're like not at all nice, but we have like department store Walmarts.
Wow. Huh.
Theora and
never
Bree
thought
are really sick of me bringing up Walmart. In
But
every
here's
interview.
and the reason that it's brought up is because Kaitlynn had an idea for Keenan and Tia and Taylor. Well, actually,
It started
with
with
Taylor.
Taylor. It
Started
started
with
with
Taylor when we talked to Taylor for us all to spend 24 hours in a Walmart and film it, like the bougie
Oh
Walmart.
my
Though.
god. That would be so cool.
So it'd be
Yeah,
like
you want to come too? So you just basically, I'm
Yes.
slowly collecting everybody we talk
'cause
to.
she got Liv last time, so
Yeah,
so it'd be
I would
like
do
the
that.
Hicksons, Keenan, Olivia, and Cody.
Yeah, I've done family vacations where we've camped outside of a Walmart in like Idaho. So I would be so down to check on Arkansas real Walmart.
Yeah.
And if you want to camp, that's a huge thing here too.
Mhm.
Yep. Sounds great.
We could set up a
Mountains.
tent in Walmart.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're just in Where the Heart Is. So, I don't know if you remember that book
Natalie
slash
Portman,
movie.
of course.
Natalie Portman
Portman.
has her baby in the Walmart.
Oh, I
Oh, that you guys brought that up before, and I still was confused then as well. I'm just
Natalie Portman.
we're gonna
Just Natalie Portman. That's all you need to know.
That's all I gotta know.
just
Pre
try to
Star
see how
Wars.
many people I can collect. If my thing is, if I can tell more people about this video.
Okay,
Gosh damn it! If I can tell more people about this video, maybe it'll actually happen.
Kaitlyn's got an awesome camera, except that it goes out every 30 minutes.
It's a 90D.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Anyway, you went to film school.
I did.
And I know there's a huge thing where people are like, don't go to film school. And then you said that you're 1 out of 12. 1 out of every 12 that like their experience.
Yeah. Wow, you dug deep. This is awesome. So
That's usually the feedback I get. Like, wow, you know a lot.
this is a funny story. So I went to a different high school from grade 11 to grade 12. And when I was in grade 11, I had a friend that was a year older than me, and he went to the film school I went to. And so when I moved in grade 12, I kept in touch with him, and I kept track of like what projects he was doing and stuff, so I could kind of have an idea what I was going to do when I'd get there. And then I got there, paid like the crazy amount of money it cost, took out all these loans. And then I checked in with my buddy. I'm like, hey man, like, how's work going? Are you working on set? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, nah, I'm taking like passport photos at the pharmacy. And I'm like, oh no, I fucked up. So kind of, and like I remember like my first day of film school, like it was an art school, so I had like, you know, there's people with game design, people with fashion design, and remember the principal or dean, whatever, sat us down all in the auditorium, and he's like, look at the people around you, only one of you is gonna probably graduate. And we all laughed at him, but then soon people just started dropping like flies, like crazy.
Wow.
And like the program I did was 15 months long, but it was literally like 4 years jammed into like a year and some change. So that was like intense. You know, I had mental breakdowns where I just like fucking shave my head, you know, stuff like that. But it's kind of like anything in life. It's kind of like what you put into it is what you can get out of it. And so I, you know, like Kaitlynn, like we were talking earlier about how much we love TV and how much it's mean to us. So I put as much effort as I could. And like, I wasn't the most talented person in my class. Like there was other people that were way better than me at what we were doing. And they just kind of like are doing just whatever. And I knew what I wanted to do. And I just kept going, try to meet people, try to leave a good impression and work really hard. And, you know, look where it got me. So if film school's up, it's funny because in film school, people like, they would assign you a book and you're like, I could have just bought this book on my own, but it's kind of like who you know. So, and that's the industry. And so I met, like, fortunately at my school, there's like incredibly cool professors. The people I was going to school with, I got along with really well, and everybody was really cool. And so the ones that stayed in it, and you know, we are best friends and stuff. So it's just kind of like what you put in it. So that's what you get out of it.
Yeah, that was my experience too. Like everybody around me was always like, "Oh, this is too much money. It's a waste of time, waste of money." And I'm just like, I loved it. Like I got really close to my teachers. My teacher is still hiring me for things now.
Cool.
Like, yeah. And then, but I did read one of my textbooks for the first time for a podcast, and which I was like, cool, it's useful.
Yeah, I've definitely done that. Like cracked open the directing book, and I'm like, oh, you know.
This one was for like programming, so like the ratings and everything. I was I'm going to educate people when I'm half asleep on the ratings. I don't think anybody got to that part though.
They did. I've seen the analytics. You educated.
Yeah. But yeah, I stand by it. Film school is good for 1 out of 12 people.
But you also, like, you can't just be passive there. Like, you do have to actually be involved and work for it. It's not going to get handed to you just because you go to a school.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's funny. There are people that go to film school and being like, "Oh, I'm going to be offered to direct the 20th Century Fox movie." Get straight out of it, and you got to really be in like reality and set reasonable expectations. Like, I'm not going to direct. I'm going to be sweeping up cigarette butts, and that's
Yeah, you
what I
got to
did.
start as a PA and
Yeah.
hate your life for a while first.
Yeah, exactly. And try to make friends on set. It's funny. People are like, "Oh, I'm so focused on networking," and I just kind of look at it as like just chilling out and just trying to be a good hang. And that's how you get jobs, is by being a good hang.
Wisdom
Well, yeah,
from
people
Cody.
definitely seem to love you.
No,
Like I've read some comments on Instagram as well.
oh, thank you.
I sound really creepy in these interviews.
No, I'm glad you did your homework. I'm so glad you're not like, "Hey, Cody, I read this comment from you when you were in grade 7."
Explain yourself.
Yeah.
No, only the relevant ones. I mean, or somewhat relevant, or just like very interesting that I'm like, what is this about?
Mm-hmm. No, I'm happy to talk about it. It's been a lot of fun with you guys.
Thanks.
Emily was super suspicious of Kaitlynn. She's
Oh,
like,
yeah?
"You're trying to get me."
She's like, "You're fishing for something." I'm like, "I'm not. I just want to get to know you better." I'm like, yes, I do know that you went to a clown workshop, but like, I didn't tell you to bring that up. You brought it up.
She just started bringing up things that she thought Kaitlynn might be trying to get at.
And I wasn't actually going to ask about any of
herself.
I love interviews. I love getting to talk to everybody and just learn more, and also get to show the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let them hear. You get it. My
Show
brain
and
just
hear,
stopped
yeah.
working.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's late where you are.
It is.
Oh no, this is nothing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Usually we're up till like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. my time, and then my brain really stops. But anyway, one of the last things I have on here is that not only are you an amazing writer who's going to go so far, and I cannot wait to see. You also have written some stuff that's been made, hasn't it? Like there's a film. And
Yeah, I've shot a couple short films.
yes, we need to watch them.
Oh.
But not only are you a great writer and a great assistant and associate producer, you also do some stand-up and you've done improv.
Yeah, done both. I like stand-up more.
Interesting.
But yeah, Eliot was big in improv. Like, you've probably seen that. He was in UCB and stuff. So I read a book called, I think it was called Poking the Dead Frog or something like that. And it was all about writing for comedy. And I think actually Adam McKay said, it's like, yo, you actually either got to do stand-up or improv just to work on your chops. So I jumped into both at the same time, like in around 2019. And I've always wanted to do stand-up, like since I was like 10. And I remember my parents dropped me off for film school, and I was like, I think I might do stand-up. And they're like, no, you're going to finish film school. And then so I got into stand-up late, but I like it so much. Like, it gives me so much creative room to write and to perform and hang out. And like, I like improv. Like, I'm down to play improv games and stuff. Like, I was at a sketch show the other day, and they like started playing improv games with me in the audience, which was unexpected, but I just went with it. But the way I kind of look at
just in the audience.
Yeah, I was in the audience. It was my friend's show, and they just started messing with me. So I just yes-anded as much as I could, and it was cool because people after the show were like, "Did you guys write that ahead of time?" And I was like, "No, I didn't know what was happening." So, the way I kind of think about it in my mind, the difference between improv and stand-up is, improv is like passing a ball with a group of people and try not to drop it. So you're kind of relying on some other people too.
Yeah.
But stand-up, it's like shooting 3-pointers and it's based on charisma. So I'm like, I can do that. So I like it. I'm not good. I'm not trying to get on the Tonight Show or anything. It's just something for me to do after work, and I really enjoy it.
or during work and like keep everybody
Yeah.
spirits up like
Yeah.
on a Saturday.
Yeah, there have been times where people are like crafty and are like, Cody, tell us a joke. And I'm like, this is so much different than me with a microphone and lights and a stage. And then I'll say like I'll say a bit and they're like, you know, so it is
They're making
different.
you work for food.
Yeah, exactly.
No snacks for you.
Yeah, I've seen you eat 3 cookies already, Cody. Make us laugh.
What kind of cookies?
You know, the white macadizzle nut.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. There's a Subway by my house, and like since I've been off for the past month, I've been noticing this hack I can do where I Uber Eats Subway, and then in my special instructions, I'm like, "Thank you so much, have a great day," and they'll give me like 4 extra cookies.
Aw.
Oh, this
I
is
know.
where you get the real tea.
Yeah.
Cookies are my favorite food group.
Oh, me too.
She's not kidding.
Well, what's your
There are
favorite, Kaitlynn?
times
Since
when
we're
she's
sharing.
like, "Should I DoorDash cookies?"
hmm
Cookies are great. My favorite cookie is like a butter cookie with the raspberry jelly in the middle.
Oh,
Yes.
those are good.
Good choice.
Yeah,
Linder tarts.
Well, those are different, but yes, those as well. Because those have like a cookie on top as well. And powdered
They
sugar.
can. A Linder tart's like shortbread with raspberry jam.
This is the
Anyway.
first interview I've done that I'm in the whole thing, and it's gone exactly how I thought it would.
But it's you and me that get off topic usually, not you and Theora.
Okay, Bree, look, we're all sharing. What's your favorite cookie? We're here now. Just do it.
Bree likes brownies.
Chocolate chip with walnuts.
Ooh.
But like, this is going to be controversial. Not as many chocolate chips as most people like. Like, I want there to be a nice ratio of chocolate chip to pecan to cookie. I want to taste it all. Don't
Wait a
overload it with any
Wait a
one
minute,
thing.
you just said 2 different nuts.
Oh, walnuts.
Did I? Walnuts.
She just said
That's what
pecans.
I love them
I
with
had
pecans.
pecans earlier on a cupcake, okay? They're in my brain.
I'm just saying continuity, okay? Someone
You know
else
what?
is
I'll
thinking
fight
it.
you.
This is amazing.
We do
I
not
guess-
dial ourselves down during interviews at all.
Oh, shush.
No, Bree always skips Theora.
Yeah. So I'm just going to say Oreo. Classic Oreo.
Good one.
Oreos.
So,
Mhm.
I guess we should wrap this up.
Yeah.
Should we, or should we just keep going off?
Okay,
Well, we
favorite
can go
pizza
off
toppings.
afterwards. Oh, good.
Pineapple!
Here we go.
Olives.
Did you just say pineapple?
Yes!
You're fired.
No.
Whoa.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. You see if you can survive without me.
No, I
I
can't.
thought you were
Thank
saying
you.
without pineapple for a second. I was like, I think Brie will be okay.
Yeah, no.
Anyway,
Theora, tears.
I like olives on pizza.
Oh,
I'm
2
with
olives.
her. I like olives as well. So, Cody.
Cody.
You guys want to
turn.
hear? This is a crazy one. You guys
Is it
ready for this?
anchovies?
No, you guys probably haven't heard of this one. This is from like a hippie island I lived off
Ooh.
off Vancouver Island. It's kind of like a little bit of meat, like a little bit of pepperoni. But what you do is you get dried cranberries and little dollops of cream cheese.
Interesting.
Yo,
Okay, and you
Huh.
want to go against my pineapple? I will willingly try that. But I just don't want anybody coming after my pineapple after that.
Okay, but let's be fair. If you want to get the weirdest pizza topping, it was Amalia and her pears.
Okay, listen, that
Pears,
pizza was
ooh.
basically like a flatbread. It wasn't really a pizza. It was like flatbread.
Also,
with like
don't knock
cheese.
anything until you try it. I don't like
Exactly.
pears, so I wouldn't like it.
But you
okay.
just knocked it and you didn't try it.
No, I don't like pears, though.
I don't like a lot of things.
That is true.
Great job, everyone.
Yay!
This dissolved. Take us
this is
away.
a lot
This is
of
who we
fun.
are.
Thank you.
Welcome to our podcast,
Thank you.
Cody.
Thank you very much, Cody.
Is that the end, or do you guys have any more questions? I'm happy to.
We have a wrap up. So,
Okay.
The wrap up is, do you have any final words for the listeners at home before we stop recording and go our sort of separate ways?
No, when we ask you questions that you can't answer on camera.
Exactly.
Oh, right. I forgot what I was going to hold off on. But the wrap up stuff for the listeners. First of all, thank you. I'm at Cody Blacked Out on Twitter and Instagram if you want to hit me up. But yeah, just I don't know. Just be yourselves and you can do anything you set your mind to.
Good advice. Excellent advice. So thank you for taking time to talk to us today. We really appreciate it. We were super excited to talk to you, period. And to everyone listening at home, thanks for tuning in, whatever way you tuned in. And we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye, and hydrate for lesbian Jesus.
Hydrate for lesbian Jesus. I don't have any hydration left.
And with that, we've been Big Gay Energy. If you like this episode, check out all of our other episodes right here on YouTube. Please like, leave a comment below, and subscribe for more amazing and super gay content.
Until next time, stay safe and hydrate for lesbian Jesus.